So welcome everyone, particularly in the YouTube space. Welcome to Ujima Open Wednesday, where we focus on financial and political education through co-creation, workshop, study with our members and guests alike. And today is co-direct. So this is the first Wednesday of the month where we do co-direct, where you get to hear directly from staff about announcements and different things that are being planned and invite your feedback and your participation and really not just learning, but also co-creating with us because what you have to offer is just as important as well. And so I want to start off with some announcements. And I'm going to flip my screen here, so forgive me. And I think there are different members of the team. Feel free to just jump in if there are different things that I'm sharing. They're like, well, there's another point we can add to this as well. Feel free to do so. And for those out in the YouTube world, Johnny Charles, Manager Director of Ujima Fund, and there's other members of the staff here as well too. And I won't shout them out specifically. So the first and foremost is our summer series, particularly focused on participatory planning. And I'm going to offer some additional pieces as well. I am not. There's a. I'm not sharing. I'm just reading through. Summer planning, particularly about participatory planning. And the actual dates are June 16th, 23rd. We'll be joined by Participatory Budgeting Project, who will present on participatory budgeting and participatory justice work, as well as their coalitional work with Democracy Beyond Elections. And for those who might need the reminder, who might appreciate a reminder, we just had our elections where we did not reach quorum and invited other members to really kind of have a conversation about what that means for our city investment plan. And so feel free to tune in for the last couple episodes where we kind of detailed what all that means. So it's only right. We'll also be joined by Bronx Cooperative Development Initiative, who will also partake in this conversation as well around participatory budgeting and planning. Does anyone want to add, particularly from staff? I'm looking around the staff. Anyone want to add to that really quickly before I transition to our annual gala?
I'll just say so. Oh, Bronx Cooperative Development Institute will be joining us in July for the participatory planning series.
Oh, thank you for that, Nia. Sorry.
No worries.
And then gala tickets, that is Bronx Cooperative Development Initiative. And then gala tickets go out, so please save the date for June 24th, which is our 2021 gala, which was recently announced. And this is going to be on the 24th at 7 p.m. for Disco Virtuale. I think I finally said it right tonight. The hippest trip in Boston. Disco Virtuale is a joint fundraiser for BAMS Fest, King Boston, and Union Capital Boston. This year we are raising $60,000 towards a freer. Thanks, James. James just dropped a link there to kind of share a little bit more about that. For those of you in the space, more cooperative Boston. Your support of this Virtuale provides critical funding that helps each organization fulfill its mission to be homes for inspiring, courageous conversation and investment in our communities. June 4th, 2021, tickets go on sale. So watch your inboxes. And then there's a specific link that James shared as well, where you can learn a little bit more. And I'll try to monitor the chat if there's anything that needs to be raised, or feel free to kind of just let me know. Any specific questions about our annual gala?
I'd like to.
Oh.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, Song.
Is this a virtual event or is that just the name, like virtuale, and it's in person? Yeah, you can clarify that.
Yes, yes, it's virtual. And I'd like to invite either James or Sierra or Paige, actually, just to tell us a little bit more about it, get us all excited.
So yeah, you know, everyone's talking about this event. It's apparently the biggest party of the summer. It's the last event of, I think one of the last events of a month-long event that we're doing in partnership with other folks, where we're highlighting Black Music Month, Black music in July. But just to highlight our event specifically, Disco Virtual, it's really, it's going to be, we're really hoping to reveal this in a couple of days. We're going to have a set list of amazing performers. Similar to like last year, we had a couple of drag queens, you know, we had these like really cool Zoom backgrounds that folks won. And we're hoping to really make it really funky and cool. We're going to be raising $60K between the four organizations: BAMFest, King Boston, UCB, which stands for Union Capital Boston, and us. And this is our biggest effort thus far. This is really a practice in us joint fundraising, us really challenging traditional nonprofit practices that assume that we have to do this individually, and that there isn't enough for us, for all of us. And so this is really our second sort of organizational practice in that effort. And we're super excited. Tickets go on sale this Friday. We're also going to release, fingers crossed, our program and the associated ticket prizes for each ticket tier that you purchase, which are really spectacular. You know, I almost don't want to tell you too much, you know, but we're super excited. And yeah, and hopefully we're going to end it with a big Soul Train line. So we really encourage members to come through, wear your best, represent disco, especially if that was an area where you're alive and you can really speak to it in like an authentic way. Please come through. We are going to be checking for outfits. And again, tell your mom, tell your friends, tell your homies. We are continuing to build this community. And we want, as you guys know, we want to continue to build out an organization that represents our community and the people that live and thrive and exist here. And so there is a direct effort for us to really activate individuals to really support and donate to this. So the more you can support, the better. Yeah, I'm gonna pass it to Sierra. What you got?
No, James, I think that you explained everything perfectly. Thank you so much for that. I literally have nothing else to add.
Boom. Thanks, Sierra. Also, just to be specific, I don't know if we mentioned, it's just the ticket pricing. It starts at $25. We have a $100 ticket and a $500 ticket and a $1,000 ticket, just to give you guys. And we also have a give what you can. And so just want to mention that we really had an eye to make this a bit more accessible than it was last year. And so really just want to underscore that for folks who maybe don't have, who have some concerns around that.
And I just dropped the landing page for the event into the chat. If you just want to check out some of the visuals, I think that'll give you a sense of what the night will look and feel and sound like.
This is definitely my last point. But if y'all want to register on the landing page, there's a link to register for first access to our tickets. I encourage y'all to do that just so you don't miss the opportunity to purchase tickets or send it out. It'll just be really helpful in that regard.
And this is my last point. If you're on the site, so I see Song, you checked it out. You'll see that there's a disco playlist. I'm gonna drop that in because again, and I have my own I have my own playlist in the background. Again, get you excited, get a sense of what you're in for the night. So definitely check out that playlist and get in the mood.
I was, that rude interruption, the song in the background was me playing some disco. And I was gonna do that. And then James had another point. And then at the same time, the song in the background that Nia's at also fed into that as well, too. Cause I'm over here dancing, listening to your sounds back there as well, Nia. So I don't know if y'all ain't excited at this point. I don't know what to tell y'all, but we will definitely start up some disco themes when we start Open Wednesday meeting. So just to remind you that it is on its way. And a couple other points, and I'm just going to move along to some other announcements. And we'll keep reminding everyone about the annual gala as well too, because we want to push as much as possible, and also just understanding that like everybody wants to come, it just needs their reminders. So we'll continue doing that. Personalized investment plans. Our goal is that every member completes one. And in that plan, individuals can actually nominate, and just name businesses that they absolutely can't do without, that they love, that may not be mentioned in the voting documents. And so feel free to, for those of you who are voting members, this is a reminder for you to complete your plan. Definitely want to hear from you, and those that are out in the YouTube space, we definitely want to hear from you. It's another vehicle for you to practice your choice, your decision making. So please do so. I don't know if anyone from the staff want to kind of stress that a little bit more.
I'd like to invite Sierra just to give us any additional information she thinks is important about the personalized investment plans. All right, great. So Sierra just dropped a link in the chat. I believe this link will take you to your login page, but I think once you log in, then you're able to see the form and fill it out.
Thank you,
I
Sierra.
saw you unmute, Sierra, so I stopped. Did you want to add anything?
No, Nia, I think that what you just said was perfect.
Okay, excellent. And of course, we're here. Staff is on hand to help if needed. So you'll see on the form any questions, just email info@ujimaboston.com, and we'll work to ensure that you're able to complete the form.
Thank you, Nia. Thank you, Sierra. And then new member teams have launched officially last week. Member engagement, which I believe was Tuesday or Monday. Nia, Jenny, feel free to.
That was last Monday.
Monday.
Yep.
And I want to invite either Nia or Jenny to kind of say a little bit more about member engagement and how that went.
Oh, happy to. Thank you, Johnny. And Sierra can say something as well. And it looks like Sierra has unmuted, so it looks like she's excited to say something. So yeah, so we unveiled, I guess I want to say a few months ago, that I believe we're creating, I don't know, 5 new member teams, and we said that we were going to roll them out 2 at a time. And so the first 2 were member engagement and member organizing. And coalitions, policy, and grassroots organizing. For both meetings, and I'll try not to say too much about coalitions, because I guess Johnny, you'll want to talk about that in a little bit. But the goal of this first meeting was really just to get the people who expressed interest in the team to arrive at some common alignment on what the team can do, in common meaning between the member team and the organization. So our experience has been that our member teams definitely care about whether or not their work is useful to the organization, and don't want to be working in vain. And so that's a question that we've gotten from different member teams over time. It's just really wondering, are we actually even doing anything that makes sense? And are we doing anything that serves the organization's needs? And so we decided, let's do an alignment exercise so that the team can start off strong and know that whatever they choose to prioritize, that it does align with what staff is thinking the team should be working on, and that it will indeed move the organization along, and that it will address organizational needs. So that was essentially the focus of Monday. It was great. I'm not looking at the presentation, and I don't know if you want to drop the presentation in, Sierra or Jenny. Some things that I can remember offhand in terms of where there was some common alignment, where was the team thinking about things like member orientation. So this may be resonating with a few people here tonight. Definitely, Ujima is an octopus. So that makes it exciting and overwhelming at the same time. So we definitely know people jump in, really excited about a particular aspect of Ujima, and then they try to figure out, well, where exactly do I plug into? What exactly do I hold on to? And particularly if it's not easily a specific member team. So the member team, and I see your question, Song, thank you so much. The member team, one of the things they talked about was creating some type of regular orientation, maybe monthly, maybe quarterly, they'll decide. That'll kind of shepherd new people through the ecosystem and show them where they could be best putting their interest to use. Another thing that came up was doing kind of like an informal skill assessment. So we're all coming here with rich, diverse lives and various expertises and skills, et cetera. So they thought it might be neat to do that assessment, to see what we're working with individually and collectively. Those are a couple of things that I can think offhand. And I do just want to hand it off to Sierra and Jenny to add anything, and then we can address your questions in the chat, Song. And also invite Sierra and Jenny, feel free to answer that as well. So Song asked, could you define member as an individuals or businesses partnering with Ujima or other nonprofits partnering with Ujima? But I'll pause so that Sierra and Jenny can get a word in. And then we can address your questions, Song, if they haven't been addressed already.
Jenny, would you like to go first?
You could go ahead. I'll cover.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Nia, for that grounding. I think that was, also my recollection of what we had. If you look, I'm going to drop the updated sign-in sheet into the chat real quick for anybody that is interested in either new member team to join us for a second meeting, because I do think, better late than never, or, it's never too late to sign up. That's a personal belief of mine. So I would definitely encourage anybody that's interested to go ahead and sign up. I think just generally, my biggest takeaway from the member engagement and organizing team was the coalitional, or our needs versus, the needs of the organization versus what people thought that they would like to give to us, or what they would like to add to the team. I think that was definitely, there was just like a lot of clairvoyance and alignment there. Jenny, I'm gonna pause and give you a chance to speak.
So +1 on everything that was shared. And basically it was a good time. You should show up. There was great energy with the people that was in the room. I think one thing that is important in regards to conversation about member engagement is to have engaging people, right? So I felt like the people that were in the space were very engaging, very present. The conversation was really helpful because here at Ujima, we really believe that it takes members being involved and really driving the work in order to create the spaces that we want. So it was really cool to be a part of that, to help facilitate that, and to see this membership engagement team take shape.
Thank you, Jenny. And
you're welcome.
Okay, I saw you speaking, but then I didn't hear Song, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off. And then I just want to answer your question, Song. So you asked, could you define member? We're a member-based organization. And that is essentially means one of the ways that you can support Ujima is to apply for membership to Ujima. And Song, you're a member, so I saw your membership come through. So there are two broad tiers of membership. There's voting membership for people who live in Boston proper. And it's our voting members who vote on what we invest in. So the previous announcement about the personalized investment plans, it's our voting members who are the ones who actually create plans. And so the principle operating is that those who are most impacted by decision making should be the primary decision makers. And so that's that principle in action. And I can't remember if you signed up as a voting member or a solidarity member, but if you sign up as a voting member, you'll definitely see that form song. And then I'm gonna just kind of interpret your second question and just feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So you asked, as an individuals or businesses partnering with Ujima. So the way I'm gonna answer that is I'm gonna say businesses are able to be members, and there's a whole process and that flows from our assembly process. So after our voting members ratify an investment plan, which is a list of businesses that have been named by voting members as well as community members in a particular area, because we also just want to give people who are not Ujima members, but who are residents of areas that we're focusing on, an opportunity to provide input as well. So we generate lists from community members and from Ujima voting members. Once it's ratified, then we work that list essentially, and we reach out to those businesses. We try to connect with them to let them know that they have fans at Ujima. And so what it means is that they can get different types of support. And if they're interested, they start the process of applying to join our alliance. And so in that way, they gain membership to Ujima. And then finally, we do have partners. So we do have grassroots partners, and that is generally by invitation only. And then, and we define grassroots pretty, we have a pretty precise, I'm going to say, definition of grassroots. So when we say grassroots, we mean also organizations that are member-based, that are base building, and that are power building. So that's how we define grassroots. And that's primarily because many of us have come from organizing backgrounds before we worked with or became involved with or created Ujima. And so we see ourselves as existing because of the great work that our peer grassroots orgs do. So, you know, we really work to make sure that we're supporting them, and we're honoring their work, and we're following their lead with regards to policy and advocacy, for example, pilot, as much as possible. So we have grassroots partnerships by invitation only, and then we do have some non-grassroots orgs that we're friends with, that we named, for example, as part of Disco Virtuale. So Union Capital Boston is one of those orgs. King Boston is another one. BAMS Fest is another one. And so we do quite a few collaborations with those orgs, and just do deep relationship building on the way to partnership. And then just want to point out, Steve dropped another announcement in the chat about the Quarterly Faith Network. So I hope that was helpful, Song. Great.
And Steve, do you wanna just give a quick plug for the Quarterly Faith Network?
Yeah, sorry, I should have done that earlier, but I was like, what am I forgetting? So this is ironically the same day as the city council meeting, fortunately not the same time, but it's from 6 to 7:30. This is really an attempt to build, and we've had fair amount of success. We've had 20 to 30 people from different religious institutions show up at these events. So it's really an opportunity for hopefully communication, to use a word from earlier today, between the faith community and Ujima, and we've generated a number of investments in the Ujima Fund, and encouraged the institutions to procure from Ujima Network businesses. And we're looking to use this meeting in particular kind of as a listening opportunity. So it'll be less about Ujima telling the faith community and more about hearing from them and what are their efforts in terms of racial and economic justice.
Thank you so much, Steve.
And then Johnny, should we flow right into coalitions? Do you want to just talk a little bit about coalitions first? That was the second new member team that launched last week on Thursday.
Gotcha. And then, so we launched this on Thursday, and there were some different pieces that were shared about both the new groups, but particularly coalitions, grassroots. So we have, by the way of Nia, a strong representative on different coalitions. And so there's a couple of different objectives we wanted to meet with coalitions, grassroots member team, which was really to have different representation in some of the coalitions that we currently are a part of. And also, it was also a need and a want that was raised by our community to be a part of some of these coalitions and be a part of coalition building. But our meeting last week was kind of, let's get grounded. Let's talk a little bit more about how do we envision this work? Where do we want to go? And then also matching and doing that alignment that Nia had spoken to earlier about what does that look like? So what do you envision this work to look like? What are the organizational needs that we currently have? And really on flying on all colors, there was really great alignment in terms of who was in the space and what they're looking to do, how they see this work actually building and where we should go. There's some ongoing building that we're going to do. So there's we have another meeting coming up. I want to say, do you know off the top of your head, Nia, do you remember what it is? I can look.
I want to say June 26th. It's a Wednesday. So it's a Wednesday, an hour before our member meeting.
Yep, from 4 to 5.
I'm trying to pick a Wednesday date. So I think it was the 26th.
Yep. I see one for the 23rd.
Oh, then that's when it is. It's
Yep.
the 23rd. Okay.
No worries, you had it. So we'll be meeting on the 23rd, y'all, for those who are interested in really kind of building, really kind of being a part of different coalitions or even learning more about how we do that work and some of the ways of doing and what that looks like. And we want to be really clear that the group itself will be kind of after the grounding is actually really kind of settled, because there's also here's how we see this work, here's how we envision it, here what the needs are, but then there is, what does it look like in terms of what are the coalitions? What is the landscape for Ujima? Where are we present or supposed to be present? What does some of that work look like? And also, what does it look like in terms of capacity, where the group itself is going to be kind of determining what does that look like for them in terms of how often do they meet, who's going to be representing in those spaces, and how we want to move. And so, so really, it'd be great to have more representation there. In terms of the folks that were at the meeting last week, there was a lot of, and I think Jenny spoke to this, in terms of really great energy, a lot of good intention, and there was really some experience in terms of really doing organizing, really understanding what that means, and really what it means to really kind of do some coalition and power building. And so, I'll step back from there, and Nia, if there's anything you want to add, or Jenny, who was also present at that meeting, want to add too.
Sure, and I'm just mindful of time, so I don't want to add too much. But what I do want to do is, if I want to ask Sierra and Johnny, if you could drop both of the presentation docs back in for both of the teams, and just want to encourage you all to go in and check them out. So slides 5 and slide 7 in both of those docs are the alignment slides. And also feel free to comment, ask questions, provide input. So I think one of the things and Johnny spoke about this, is one of the reasons we record is to account for people who cannot be with us at a particular moment in time. But we want to really try to create as many avenues as possible, and here communication is a theme. Just really try to create as many channels as possible for people to communicate with us, ask questions, provide input. So consider this a place where you can do that as well. And whether or not you join the team, we will what's the word? Receive the input and consider it and move from it. Yeah, real quick, coalition. This is not going to be the best definition song, so we'll have to give you a better definition another time. Just real quick, a group of orgs, you know, just a group of orgs coming together for a common purpose, and there definitely better definition next time.
I like that definition actually. And you know what? I think let's transition. Do we want to make space really quickly for any questions at all? Or I mean, we're at time at this point. Okay.
We did have one more announcement, right? And that we've made before, but I think we just wanted to remind people.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
The last announcement, right, for now is that in August, the month of August, we'll be practicing self-care for ourselves, which is really kind of resting. And so there will not be any workshops or member team meetings throughout the month of August. And really want to just, at least for us, one of our core practices, other than a list of others, is really kind of just taking care of ourselves and each other in so many different ways. And so what we're hoping to do is really kind of communicate with you all and inspiring and trying to encourage folks to also take care of themselves in that month as well too. I mean, we want you to take care of yourself all the time. But particularly in the month of August, especially for those of you who've kind of just served and supported from a member team perspective, and also realizing that there are other things that you're connected to as well, making sure that you are also honoring your own self-care and really kind of resting in that as well too. And so for Ujima staff, so we won't necessarily be scheduling like external meetings in our organization as well too. And so a lot of external meetings will be pushed out to September. So just want everyone to be aware of that and mindful of that.
And that wraps us for Co-Direct this evening. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you all.
Thank you. I was trying to read the chat. Sorry. Y'all know I'm not that great at that. All right. Thank you all again, particularly for the YouTubers out there. Thank you for being with us. That wraps us up. And I am going to stop recording now.